Hi guys, I'm Kyungmi Kim at Korea Institute of Psychoeducation. I want to first say that my intention is not on whether kinky sex is right or wrong, good or bad. The word kinky is often used with a negative connotation for something that is abnormal and deviant, but what is normal for one person may be abnormal for another, as the standards of what is normal for sex are extremely personal and subjective in the first place. What should be emphasized is that sex, in any form, shouldn't be damaging or destructive to others, and that the people having sex should be pleased and happy through it. Seemingly kinky and outlandish sex can certainly make the people healthy and happy, but people who enjoy only kinky sex because they have a warped concept of what sex is are unknowingly destroying themselves and others through sex. In this video, we will talk about men who enjoy only kinky sex and deal with women who enjoy only kinky sex in the next video. Every man has his favorite sex fantasies, but men who like and practice only kinky sex have three major characteristics that may cause problems. First, they think of sex only in terms of their own pleasure, so the woman they are having sex with is only a means to an end of achieving kinky sex for their own pleasure. They don't try to fulfill or support the sex women want, but instead they tame women to fit the sex they want to have with them. And if the woman doesn't go along with their intention, they think she useless as a tool and move on to a new woman. Second, these men usually have sexual problems or sexual dysfunction. They think their sexual function isn't working because regular sex isn't fun enough, but men who are physically and mentally healthy are naturally capable of performing well in any kind of sex. To put it another way, if they don't have the high stimulation of kinky sex, they are not able to perform well. Third, they usually have high levels of stress, and even if they enjoy a variety of other hobbies, sex and sexual pleasure is the only way they can relieve their stress. And because their standards for sexual pleasure are so narrow and rigid, they will criticize and demean anyone or anything that doesn't meet their standards. Often, men who only like kinky sex tend to think that they have experienced all sorts of sex and reached some kind of high level when it comes to sex. They may even openly say so, packaging their tastes nicely. But the bottom line is that men who like only kinky sex don't have the sexual capacity to get pleasure outside of certain kinky acts. A man who is truly sexually competent will be able to support any woman in sex, regardless of what she looks like, to create the best sex possible that will make her feel truly happy. In doing so, the man himself also feels the greatest pleasure and happiness from sex. The sex that these men and women create may be unique and unusual. As the sex they create is new, tailored to their style and their style alone, it may be seen different and peculiar compared with typical conventional sex. In the end, kinky sex itself isn't the problem. The problem is that we don't know why we need the sex, what we can create with it, and we see it only as a means of pleasure and live our lives being dependent on it. Please keep in mind that anyone can create and sustain powerful feelings of pleasure, happiness, passion, love, and more through kinky sex. But if you don't know what sex does for a human being and you only have sex for the ostensible purpose of pleasure, or love, you are going to end up in a weird place where all of your relationship and values are being used for pleasure or for love as you recognize in the conscious.